The family of Gabby Petito, murdered by her boyfriend during a cross-country trip, continuing to fight for victims and survivors of domestic abuse. And Gabby's dad, Joe, now backing new legislation out of New York, aiming to prevent domestic violence before it can take anyone else's life. The bill passing unanimously in the Senate, it'll now require law enforcement to include a lethality assessment during all standard domestic incident reports, helping officers to detect possible escalations before it's too late. Now, Gabby's father, Joe, calls this new bill life-saving. He is joining us live now with more. Joe, what an honor for me to get to speak with you again. And tell me, does this new legislation feel like a victory for you and your family, and why?
Well, it hasn't passed yet. I'm glad it passed the Senate, which is great. It's being held up in the House at the moment. Got to fix that, by the way. But come January, when the session goes back in, hopefully it'll pass the committee that it's in the House, and then go to the Assembly for a vote. And then it should go to the governor's desk to be signed. This is something that could help countless lives, in the state of New York.
Yeah, and let's start with the details of this. I mean, what is included in the lethality assessment? What kinds of questions specifically will be asked here, and why does that matter?
And so these questions have been studied by, Dr. Messing and Dr. Campbell to figure out what are the best ways to ask the questions and in what format. And what it does is it helps identify if a person's in a lethal situation or not. I mean, these are questions that are asked in a conversational manner anyway. It's not like it's any extra work or anything like that. It's not like this bill is asking for money or anything like that. These are things that are done throughout a normal domestic violence call anyway. It's just logging the questions a little differently. And I mean, these are questions like, does the abuser have access to a gun? Did they strangle you? Have they threatened to hurt themselves? Questions like along those lines. And depending on how they answer, it would trigger a call to an advocate or give someone information on where to go when they find that they're in a safer place to do so.
Yeah, and I think, this is so particularly important because many of us will never forget watching the body camera video from that pullover. Um, and I know that it must be seared in your mind as one of the last possible moments where something really could have been done here. In that video, we see Gabby visibly upset. She is shaking, she is crying. We see, meanwhile, Brian looking very calm. He's even joking with officers at one point. In your mind, were there clearly red flags in that pullover that something like this new legislation would catch in time?
Yes. So, I mean, if you watch the video when it started, and I haven't, to be honest with you, I've read the transcripts.
Mm.
I've gone to experts. I've spoke to other law enforcement, the neighboring counties. So, counties in Utah. And yes, there. If a lethality assessment was done, we as a family believe that something different could have been in the outcome where Gabby would still be here today. That being said, listen, there's so many more victims of domestic violence that this bill can help, and having it sit in a committee over the summer and through the winter doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But
Mm.
hopefully we can get this pushed out pretty quick and then get it to the people of New York, because it's sorely needed. And that goes to everywhere else. Utah did it, Florida did it. We're working on doing it internationally. So as you see, New York's got their version. Every state should have some version of a lethality assessment. It's a proven technique. It's the next step in how we help victims of domestic violence, really focusing on the victim first. And it can make a huge impact across the country.
Yeah, and I know that this is a fight that is happening state by state. I would imagine you want to see something at the very least on the national level. I know you mentioned internationally as well. I mean, what are your hopes for the future? What are you really aiming for?
We'd like to see the lethality assessment in all 50 states, and then on the national level for like the park police and rangers and stuff like that, as well as around the globe. Because here's a program that, again, has been proven scientifically to help reduce the domestic violence homicide rate. And if you want, listen, if you're going to be focusing on, rightly so, you want to lower the murder rate, the suicide rate, the homelessness, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, substance abuse, whatever you want to look at. There's so many areas that you can help when it comes to domestic violence, because a
Hmm.
lot of those causes funnel towards domestic violence. So you could have a big impact on this particular legislation, on what it is that we're trying to achieve on the whole.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.